Was 2018 your year, or are you more looking forward to 2019? Kate's Mail Service presents the very first episode of Media in Demand. I'm your host, Ben Jones, and today, joining me, the man on the left, Ethan Urch.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
It's funny how I call you the man on the left when you're on my right.
Yeah, but people aren't even... Yeah, audio-wise, no one's going to know. But for people watching it right now with the video, they're going to be like, I don't get it. Because it's just a two-shot thing.
It's also funny how you're the man on the left, but you're more right-wing.
I'm not. I'm center as
You're
fuck.
a centralist.
I try to be. Anyway, let's.
What have you been playing? What have you been watching?
Fucking straight into... Oh, sorry for swearing. I'm sorry, Dad. I'm so sorry for swearing. No, it's just straight into the questions.
PG-13. PG-13.
All right. Jeez. All right. Gotta keep friendly for the kids, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Use those fricks. Keep away from their hell. God dams.
Only baby Jesus isn't here.
Jeebus.
No. Yeah. So what was the question? I missed it.
What have you been playing? What have you been watching? Anything like video games, movies, music? Actually, before we get into that, I would also like to iterate that we're sponsored by Scrambled Pixels and Wheatley Raw Honey, but we'll get back to them later.
More on them later. This is the very first episode, so I'll just run through the rigmarole. Basically, this kind of podcast is inspired heavily by the main podcast, Kate's Mail Service, but we're going to go for a bit of a more structured feel. So each episode is going to have a single topic. It's going to be points within the topic, but we're going to go through them, and it's going to be based off that one topic. And before we get into that, we go through basically what we've been watching, what we've been playing, and then at the end of the episode, one of us will suggest some form of media or some sort of consumable for the other person to check out and see how they like it. So without further ado, Ethan. Yes.
What have you been watching or playing or
Well, actually,
consuming?
I'm gonna throw you a curveball at the moment. So I just signed up to Audible. They're not a sponsor. At least I don't know. Are they? No, not yet.
Not yet.
But I signed up for Audible
Code
and I
Ben
got my first free book, and I'm listening to The Hobbit. I thought I'd give that a listen because I never find the time to read and sit down. Like I probably could. Like the amount of times I watch YouTube videos or watch a movie, but I don't know. It's just like a book seems very engaging. You've got to sit down and hold it. And then audiobooks are incredible. This is now turning into an Audible ad. But no, just the audiobook. You could just sort of just
use
have
code
it playing.
Ben10 to get 10% off your next book.
Audible.com/Ben10.
Yeah.
But no, I've just been listening to that, The Hobbit, on the drives.
Right.
Yeah. That's about it. I like what I watched the other night. You were there. No, you weren't. I'm kidding.
I wasn't.
I don't know. I hate people that ask that
I could have been there. I could have been in your closet watching you.
Yeah, The Hobbit. That's my answer. My Hobbit is I've been listening to The Hobbit. It is incredible so far. I like it, and I'm glad I didn't watch too much of the movie for me to like. You know that thing when you watch the movie first and then you go and read the book, and then now you just imagine the characters of the movie.
Dude, I grew up with the movie trilogy, and then read the books after watching the movies. All I can hear was Ian McKellen booming as Gandalf. Yeah.
No, I haven't read The Lord of the Rings yet. I'm going to get there. That's going to be my second free audiobook, The Fellowship of the Ring. But
my recommendation, like push through Fellowship of the Ring. It's the most boring of the three, to be completely honest.
You shut your mouth.
But if you get through it, it's good.
It's setting up the world, all right? You cut it some slack, mister.
Mind you, this is coming from like, I want to say 10-year-old Ben, 11-year-old Ben.
I hated that guy anyway, so.
Yeah, he was he was a bit of a prick, yeah.
But no, yeah. So I'm listening to The Hobbit. It's going good, and I'm just imagining the characters as I want to. Like, that's how it works. That's how reading books works, I would have thought. But with Harry Potter, I remember reading the books first with my auntie and grandma, and then, because I was an idiot of a kid. But, yeah, and then like when I went and saw the movies, I was like, hang on, something seems off. But I was like, yeah.
Yeah, my mum tried to pull the whole like, no, you got to read the book before you go see the movie.
Yeah.
We got up to Chamber of Secrets, and never read past that.
We got up to the Goblet of Fire, and then the first movie came out, and we were like, oh shit, we better. I think that's how it happened. I don't know. I can't remember. Or Azkaban, something like that.
It's like, yeah, Azkaban's the third.
Yeah, Azkaban's the third one, but I can't remember when, unless like I might be accidentally forging the story, because I can't remember whether
the first movie come out before The Goblet of Fire came out or anything. But I remember we were up to 3 or 4.
I think it was actually around about there.
Yeah, so we were up to 3 or 4. We didn't finish The Goblet of Fire, that's all. And then the first movie came out. And then the movies come into play. And then I just become this brain dead, perfect idiot.
You just popped the goggles on and that was it. You became Mrs. Fantastic, Mrs. Fantastic. I was going for Elastigirl, but apparently I'm just thinking of Invisible Woman.
Screenslaver? Is that the one you were thinking of?
I was thinking you became her and like you got entrapped by the Screenslaver.
Potentially. Yeah. I'll look into it.
Yeah.
I'll go get a time machine. Moving on. Oh, I watched Austin Powers yesterday.
Yeah.
The second one, though.
I haven't watched that in a while.
Because Netflix is being dicky, and for some reason they're only releasing the sequels and not the first movie. And it's like, are you kidding?
Only the sequels?
Yeah. Not only. I don't know if they are. This is just me like jumping to conclusions on just one bit of evidence, which is the second Austin Powers is there, none of the others.
Yeah.
So that was annoying. I wanted to watch a movie with Elizabeth Hurley and just relive my early, just before I started wanking years.
Sorry, just Google that.
Yeah, I could, but it's not the same. And Mike Myers, that genius, that comical genius.
He was.
Those two together. Oh,
Shrek.
Oh. Anyway, back to you. Finish your shit. Start. I could talk. I run a podcast. I don't know if you know this. I have another podcast and I talk.
I've heard.
I can talk.
I've heard they're a little bit risque, but
yeah.
No, especially that guy on the left.
Yeah. Anyway,
so I've been playing Red Dead. Anyone who knows me I'm a gamer. I'm a mad gamer. I'm into comic books. Just on that thing about like reading books, I was going to say like the last time I picked up a book before when I was in the outhouse reading Green Lantern.
Outhouse as in like the Thunderbox where you like
as in the Thunderbox,
the hole in the ground.
Yeah, as in like
you had one of them as a kid.
No, we had a shed. We have a shed at our house. Don't you know about that? In the backyard.
The house we live in now?
Yeah. Where have you been going to the toilet?
In the bath.
You poop in the bath? That's not very sanitary. I shower in that.
Next question.
So I'm about halfway through it. It's a Green Lantern Earth 1. It's like a remake of Green Lantern. Basically, it's like a cross between Alien and Armageddon. Is that one where they drill through the asteroid?
Yeah. How it's easier to train miners to be astronauts than it is to train astronauts to be miners. Yeah.
So basically, I won't get into too many spoilers of it, but basically, instead of inheriting the ring, he finds it in an asteroid, in an old alien spaceship, and he just kind of like puts it on willy-nilly, and he's able to be a Green Lantern.
It's as easy as that. You just find the ring. No one has to give it to you.
I found a ring. Representing.
For the audio listeners, he's wearing a Green Lantern.
My Green Lantern ring. You'll find out about it later. There's a little point about foreshadowing Green Lantern. So I read that a little bit. I've been playing Red Dead Redemption. I've got a games list. If you don't listen to the main podcast, I talk about it all the time. But
this is the first episode of the mid podcast. You might as well
media in demand. Yeah. So basically, I've put a whole bunch of games together on a list, and I'm trying to finish them in order. I rearrange it every now and then. Whenever a new game comes out, I put it in the list. If I want to play it more than the other games, I'll put it further up. If I think that I want to take care of some games before I get to it, I'll put it further down. Example, Kingdom Hearts, when that comes out. More on that later, but when that comes out, that's coming straight to the bottom because I want to power through the entire trilogy, including all the other games, because I've only ever played 1 and 2. Never played any of the other games. So
of Kingdom Hearts? I've never played any of them.
Not a single?
Never even been fascinated by it.
You know what? The more and more you talk about your childhood, the more and more I'm worried that you like never grew up properly.
What are you talking about? No, I'm perfectly fine. Thanks for criticizing my bad parents. No, it was all right. I just never. The most I remember had Sanctuary 2. That's probably not healthy to. No.
Dude, I had GTA.
When Mum splashed out got the Xbox 360, got the first one. Xbox 360, we had Lego Star Wars, the second one though, which was, I personally find, was so much better than the first one.
Dude, you got to get Complete Saga.
I loved playing the original Saga, so much better. Complete Saga, yeah.
Complete Saga was the best one. I will admit, I liked the first one because it had more Jedi, because I was a mad Jedi fan. But I liked the original trilogy because it was the original trilogy. And Darth Vader was like, felt better playable than all the other Jedi in the first one. But when you got to the Complete Saga, and it's all 6 of them together, and they've all got just the same platform, like there's nothing missing out of like the first trilogy, and then like you've got the double jump back from the first trilogy in the original trilogy. I even bought it on my iPhone. Like I've got it. I think on 3 places at the moment.
The original, the
Complete Saga. Yeah. I have it Xbox 360. So if I ever get an Xbox One, I can download it. I think I have it on PC, so I can download that, play it on Steam, and I have it on my iPhone.
This is a running theme with Ben. Like he buys a lot of different things on different platforms, but like with like he prepares for a random party could break out at any minute, and he needs to be ready for it. Which I love, but it's funny because it's
almost,
we're not party animals.
It's almost like I remember something and I'm like, God, it'd be awesome if I could play that like when I'm on a flight or something. Problem is I'm not on flights that much anymore.
No,
I used to be when I was like I grew up I was an apprentice and I used to go down to Sydney for training.
Yeah.
I won't get too much into that.
Let's talk about actual media stuff. Let's not get too crazy.
I won't get too far into it, but I used to catch a plane like once a month, almost every year, and so like playing games during those flights, going down to Sydney was kind of like, I need to make sure like this, not the training itself, the gaming while I was training was my ultimate focus. I was like, I need to make sure I have this.
I'm going to stop you right there, and I think a boy right here in this room has his priorities right.
Dude, I've got my priorities straight.
Gaming.
Well, I mean, not straight. They could be gay, but we don't know yet.
PG friendly for the kids. Let's not Russia. Let's not talk about.
It's not Russia. Come on.
Let's accommodate. Russia. We should design this for a Russian audience.
Well, we were going to call this KGB, Kate's Games Broadcast.
It should just be designed just for them. Anyway,
no Overwatch allowed.
So what's all right? What's the next?
I started watching The Punisher season 1. First episode is bloody explosive. It's good.
By bloody explosive, do you mean
blood and explosive?
Like something exploded and blood went everywhere?
Yes, and that exploded was someone's head. It's definitely not for the faint of heart. If you're not into gore, this is not for you. But I got to admit, The Punisher does have some heart behind it, and it's really good.
But it has no head.
It has no head.
It's got heart.
Only heart.
No head.
No head. I've also
story of my life. PG.
Last weekend, I got back into Star Wars Battlefront 2, and it was mainly because at work I had no chance of listening to podcasts, and I hate listening to podcasts or music or anything more playing Red Dead, so I needed to play other games. So I've been playing Smash Bros as well, but the shocking thing was like I saw Battlefront there, and I was like, I'll boot it up, play a podcast while I'm shooting up stormtroopers, or shooting up as stormtroopers as I prefer to. And yeah, no, it was fun. It was actually really fun. Thoroughly enjoyed it. And I streamed it earlier tonight. No one watched it, but that's the way it is.
Happens to the best of us.
I had 3 viewers and 2 of them were me, and I'm pretty sure the third one was some old mum that didn't even know how to work the TV.
Happens to the best of us.
Yeah, it really does.
Anyway, did you want to? We'll jump into a topic.
So
we'll start that bad boy up.
What else has been going on is that recently we went and watched Aquaman. What was your view on it?
I feel confronted when I have to do the first opinion, but I find that it was a fun movie. It was corny and cheesy, and you're like, all right, it's a comic book movie, fair call, but like it didn't. Because I'm more of a Marvel person. I enjoy those movies more. But
No judgment here. No judgment here.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I just feel it because it's got a nicer, grittier realism taste to it, and like I can enjoy like a space movie or like a fantasy movie where it is a different world. But I don't know that for some reason that with a Marvel movie, it's got more of an appeal because it feels like I could live in that world.
What if I told you?
But with the DC thing, it just seems a bit too like really. Oh God, because I don't know, with the Man of Steel, for example, I don't know, I'm going to accidentally get on a rant, but Man of Steel alone had 1 million 9/11s in it. I'm just saying, like, so many buildings came down. And, like, just think how much shit our 9/11 in our world caused. But when it's like a human being, like an alien from Krypton that's going through a bunch of buildings, it's fine. I don't know. That's just my critique. It just doesn't feel real enough for me to enjoy it. And, like, I can enjoy a superhero movie, but I guess I've just been tweaked and I've done exactly what Marvel wants me to do is find more appeal in the Marvel movies and enjoy them more. And I'm a sucker for them now.
What if I were to tell you that Aquaman broke $1 billion this weekend?
Yeah, I know that. I know it's a fucking brilliant thing. I think it was a good movie. I enjoyed it. It was a fun movie to watch. I love the story. Jason Momoa is brilliant. They did great marketing on the movie to push it. They had Elizabeth Hurd. No, what's her name? Amanda Hurd. What's her name? The actress.
Amber Heard.
They had her breasts contoured perfectly to draw people in, to make people watch it.
She did feel a little bit like the whole eye candy, I suppose.
Yeah, especially.
But she did have like a bit of powers for it.
But like, here's my critique on that. Aquaman's mum, gorgeous actress, is it Nicole Kidman?
Nicole Kidman, yeah.
Yeah, right. For some reason, her breasts were covered up. But when it become to Amanda Heard, which is the woman that's meant to be the sex appeal to draw in men, and be like, oh, we had to show her breasts. It's like, ugh. Like, I'm not a feminazi video watchers. You'd see my blue hair right now. But like, I don't know. It just felt unnecessary.
Not a single bit of red on him.
It just felt unnecessary to have her breasts out like that the whole time. Like, go for it, show the woman's body off. And I'm not some kind of conservative loser. But especially when the other only female that was in the movie, which was Nicole Kidman, her breasts were covered. Like that, I was like, oh, that's how they dress in Atlantis. But then when it comes to Amanda Heard, it was just like,
to be fair, both of their super suits were actually super suits. Where's my super suit?
Underwater. Sorry.
Both of their underwater. They are both like rather skin tight in the movie, though.
I know. I don't give a shit about that. It's just my fact that the fact that the first time we meet a person from Atlantis, it's like, all right, yeah, they cover up because it's not about being sexy or showing off your body or the way women have been portrayed in comic books for years. It wasn't like that. It was like, oh yeah, we cover them up, whatever. And then Amanda Heard come out and it's just like, she's got boobs, everyone. Look at them. Oh man, come and watch this movie. And like the same thing, and like no offense, like Jason Momoa is so topless in that movie. You know, like, and that's the appeal for women. And I can guarantee our housemate Tash loved the shit out of that because of Jason Momoa mainly. Like, and she's a DC fan, and
she's a massive DC fan, just like me.
Jason Momoa, I can guarantee, is probably 60 to 70% of the reason why she really went and saw that movie.
Yeah, probably.
Because he's a sexy man. He's a beast of a man. And yeah, he was basically topless the whole movie. But that's it's set up that way.
To be fair, when he was cast as Aquaman, I was like in my head, I was trying to think of some like famous ginger, blonde, redhead, someone who could like play the role.
I don't think.
And then when they announced Jason Momoa was playing, I was like, yeah, actually, you know what? That kind of makes sense.
Dude, that could fucking work. Like, I could not imagine some pasty blonde fudge dressed up. I didn't swear.
Pasty blonde fudge.
Some pasty blonde fudge to play the live action from the comic book. I couldn't. It would look weird because, especially within the cartoons and the comic books, just Aquaman himself just seems like this most comical thing, and you're like, really him? But I always liked Aquaman. I was like, fuck yeah, that's f yeah.
I think that's one of the biggest appeals that actually brought this figure up so high is because of Jason Momoa, because of his charisma. He's not.
He's a man. He's the people's man.
In this movie, I don't think he was a great actor. I think that he played Jason Momoa as Arthur Curry. Like
it's like when The Rock goes and plays movies.
A character. He's not playing the character. He's playing The Rock.
The Rock is an amputee that's saving a tower.
Yeah.
The Rock is a zoologist that stops giant beasts.
The Rock is a policeman who chases people in fast cars.
The Rock is the Tooth Fairy.
Yeah, like
it's just it's
everything.
Not,
yeah, and that's
but
sort
with
of
Jason
similar
Momoa,
to
it
Jason
felt
Momoa.
different though.
But the thing is, like, Jason Momoa brings that to the role, and I think it's to its benefit because of how much of the butt of a joke Aquaman was.
Yeah,
like you ask any comic book reader, and they're like, "Oh, Aquaman is the one who gets shat on."
But this did it well. It felt fun. It felt relatable. It felt really cool. Like I was like, yeah, Jason Momoa played it very well, and the comedy was good. Like it wasn't the best comedy, but it was enjoyable. It was great. I had fun watching the movie. I will admit that I enjoyed it way more than I did with Venom. For some reason, Venom just did not sit with me.
And we'll bring Venom up later.
But when I watched Aquaman, I was like, hell yeah, this is fun.
And I'm gonna start throwing numbers at you, so you better get ready to catch.
I'm bad with numbers.
So, Aquaman's budget $160 million, and its global box office $1 billion.
Has it made $1 billion?
Yes.
Are you kidding?
I told you before.
Yeah, you probably did mention.
I was while I was preparing this podcast. Actually, it was at 980 million, and then literally today it broke the 1 billion over the weekend. So.
Yeah,
that's how much of an impact Aquaman, and he's the butt of all jokes of superheroes.
That's half. That's half of Infinity War.
Here's to put this in perspective, right? Batman vs Superman's budget was 250 million, so it's about 90 million more than Aquaman. It only made 870 mil globally. I say only, but that's Batman and Superman.
That was the appeal for that. That's why a lot of people would have come in.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, heck, I was looking forward to it. My top two favorite superheroes versing against each other. And I'm a Man of Steel apologist as well. I actually kind of liked Man of Steel. But
I fell asleep.
He genuinely did fall asleep.
I was trying to be a really nice friend and watch it for Ben. And I was just like, yeah, Ben, I'm going to be interested in stuff Ben's interested in and be a good friend. And nah, I fell asleep.
Here's the contrast. You and Aquaman, you're like, oh, nice colors. You and Man of Steel is like...
I didn't even make it to the 9/11 part, like where they knock down all the buildings. I just couldn't.
The funniest thing is like Jason Momoa does it for you. Henry Cavill just sends you straight to sleep. No, he's a comforter. Look, Henry Cavill is a nice man. He's a very comforting man.
It's not that. I should have pulled my thumb out for this, but like I wanted to go see the new Mission Impossible Fallout.
Right.
I completely forgot to see it. I was going to plan to see it with Bryce, but I wanted to see that and to see Henry Cavill just be a badass. And for some reason, like there's nothing wrong with him playing Superman. I'm sure if I pushed through and watched the movie, maybe I was tired that day. I'll give the movie that. I was probably tired that day. No offense to the movie, but. Same with Watchmen. I think I fell asleep with that as well. Maybe it's I don't know. They were just slow. I don't know. It's weird. I don't know what it is. I'll rewatch them. I swear. I promise one day.
But yeah, like just the whole like
he plays good action. Henry Cavill plays. Good action.
He does. But with the whole like DC movies anyway, it's just interesting. I'm going to throw some more numbers at you. So Wonder Woman's budget is 10 million less than Aquaman, so 150 million, and globally it made 820 million. Right, and that was
a good movie. Wonder Woman was really good.
Female-led superhero movie, big budget female-led superhero movie. Compare that to Justice League, which is supposedly the biggest movie in the DC EU. That was $300 million budget.
That only made back half.
That only made a global box office $660 million.
That would piss a lot of CEOs off. I mean, executive producers off.
Like that just scrapes by, and that's comparative to BVS. That had 50 million less and made just over 200 million.
And Man
more.
of Steel, that was just over half made back.
Man of Steel, I think they expected it to be that less.
Yeah.
But like you look at the comparisons of like that's Superman. All right, you tell them, oh yeah, new Superman movie's coming out. People are going to come.
Yeah.
Right? And then obviously Wonder Woman has a bit of backing behind her.
Before you get to the last point of the last DC movie to talk about, I just want a little drum roll when you get to it. Just let me know when you're about to get to it.
I'll get to it.
I'll put together some kind of. No, I won't. But I will, or I won't. But
So like you look through these you look through all these like ones.
Most of them made back half.
Yeah, most of them made back like a decent amount.
Doubled it.
I forgot to put Suicide Squad in here, but
what are we? Some kind of Suicide Squad?
That's such a forgettable movie.
Yes,
I remember how I was just like, no, I prefer this over Batman v Superman. I much prefer Batman v Superman over this, and Batman v Superman is boring as fuck.
Yeah,
like when I first saw Batman v Superman, I was kind of like, I don't know if I like it, and then I saw it again, and I was like, yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah, it was a fun thing to me. The Suicide Squad was just a family outing.
Yeah.
Like that's what I break down a lot of these movies into. Family outings. I enjoyed the family outing, not watching the movie itself, but I enjoyed being with my family, which is you guys. Not my actual family.
But I think this is the bigger proof of like you just look at the two team up movies comparatively how much they made to Aquaman and Wonder Woman being outliers. Like you like it just makes you like you look at MCU, right? They took Iron Man, Captain America, they made them these franchises that were genuinely worth something, right? You're right paying that? For the audio listeners, like, what?
Just keep talking.
So, like you look at that and you think like, oh, outliers must be perfect. And it, like to an executive, they'd just be like, oh, what's an unknown superhero? Let's get him a film. But a contrary point to that, and it's one of the funniest things that I got when I was
just before you make that point, I wanted like you look at this and for some reason, some beautiful reason, like Wonder Woman made so much more money in comparison to the budget.
Oh yeah,
and same with Aquaman, and I feel like they've made back a lot more, and they were so popular to go see is because it's a different flavor. It's not something we've been pumped down our throats for years, like reboots of Superman, reboots of Batman. Aquaman and Wonder Woman were just something different, and it was beautiful and it was good and it was done well, and they took a risk on that with going, all right, well let's do the Wonder Woman thing, but like really just sort of embrace it and put that creative spin on it and let the director do its thing with it.
I think it's also because
same with Aquaman, Jason Wan, like he did a really good job. He's usually a horror guy, but like when he took his hands on this, I was like,
you mean James Wan? James
Wan, that's the one I meant. What'd I say?
Jason Momoa is the horror guy. Jason Momoa is.
But like it's with
Saw.
But with it, it was like it was a different take on it, and I was expecting like an R-rated Aquaman. I was like, this will be exciting. This will be aggressive. I could get into this. And then I got this fun movie. It was a bit long, but it was just fun. It was like a cross between Uncharted and
but hey, it didn't make you fall asleep.
No, it didn't make me. I was awake the whole way, and I was enjoying it. I was like, oh, what's next? And sometimes you get to certain points, you're like, ugh. But it was fun. I enjoyed watching it because it was different.
I feel like it keeps you engaged.
And the director sort of went with a comedy thing and actually didn't feel so serious.
I feel like it keeps you engaged, and it's definitely like it's because whoever put the effort into this film actually put heart into it. And it's the same with Wonder Woman. You watch Wonder Woman and you can see that Patty Jenkins is the director, isn't she?
Yes.
Yeah. You can tell that like when she got the go ahead to do Wonder Woman, she's like, right, clapped her hands and go, we're doing this shit. This is how we're doing it. We're doing this, this, and this. If we can't do it that way, I've got one backup plan, but this is the way that we go.
Yeah.
And like you can tell that she put heart into it. And that's what comparatively, you look at like the Russo brothers when they do Infinity War, when they did Winter Soldier, Civil War, that has heart. And that's what makes
And they took their time. No one rushed those.
Exactly. And so you look at, it's definitely not because it's some like fresh superhero because, and drum roll please, Green Lantern's budget had $200 million, more than Aquaman and Wonder Woman, not combined, just like each. It made $220 million globally back.
It barely made back 20 grand, like 20 million.
Barely went over the budget.
So they like with what I said earlier before about the different flavor, the Aquaman and the Wonder Woman. Yeah, the thirst is there. People want something different, right? And then the anomaly with that, the difference between the new flavor with the Green Lantern movie, it was rushed, and what they were trying to do with it was way too much. From what I've never sat through it, but this is probably a shitty opinion, terrible opinion. Sorry, not shitty. Anyway, I just swore twice. But no, with the Green Lantern, it felt like it was rushed and it was trying to set up a bunch of things. Am I right? Like apparently there was.
It's not that it felt rushed. It's more that it just felt like it wasn't planned. Like someone was like, all right, what do we do next? I suppose we could get this guy back in. And the thought behind it wasn't not genuine. I think it was more like because you look at it like the script itself it wasn't even like when Ryan Reynolds was cast, there was no script. And as they were filming, they were writing the script.
Because with that, right, there was a different mindset. There's roughly just over 5 years difference between 2011 Green Lantern come out. I just had to Google that. I'm not that smart. But so that like there's a different mindset that DC Comics or DC movies would have had back then, which was what else come out just around then? Was Man of Steel? When did Man of Steel come out?
Dark Knight had come out 2008, and I think The Dark Knight Rises was due to come out.
But when did the Man of Steel come out?
Man of Steel, I think, came out 2 years after it.
After Green Lantern?
Yeah, I think.
Okay.
I might be wrong.
That was a weird thing then. Why were they? Anyway, so no, yeah, there's a 5 year difference, and I feel like there was a different mindset with DC movies. They were like, oh, we need something crazy, something fun. All right, this is something different. Let's do that. Like, all right, Batman's doing so well. We can do anything. We can get away with it. All right, what are we going to do? Ryan Reynolds, he's approachable. People love him. Christian Bale, people love him. That worked for Batman. We got him on. But the difference is, I think there was a lot of executives coming in and just going, we need this. It needs to be done this way, rushing it, as well as no script. It was like, we need a movie. Cast him. He'll be funny. He'll be great. Do it. As you were saying, they were writing the script. I don't know. Please take the mantle soon. But like that's the difference, I feel like, is because with the Wonder Woman and Aquaman, there was passion put into that. You know, I'm sure they had something written before they cast it.
Oh yeah, the scripts were all prepared and everything. Green Lantern was just a hot mess.
Because I'm pretty
that's
sure
all it was. It was just
a Patty Jenkins came to them with the script for Wonder Woman.
I'm pretty sure she had her mindset on how this shit was going to.
That's the difference.
So that's what made Wonder Woman. It wasn't brilliant.
It wasn't a cart in front of the horse situation. It was like and
it's very much similar to similar underdogs as Black Panther, which had a $200 million budget, so over Aquaman's and Wonder Woman's budget.
And again, another, and
that made $1.35 billion.
And that's another thing from a different flavor. That's something different. There's the niche, the market's out there. People want it,
and that also has the passion behind it of the African American community, because of the message behind it of like the actors, the director, the producers, all of them being from that background. They knew how the characters had to feel. They knew what emotion they wanted to portray in it. And look, you can gripe about the end fight between T'Challa and
that looks like a PlayStation 2 cutscene.
Right, but you've got to admit that it's still an emotional scene when he takes him out to that cliff.
Yeah,
and he's like, "Look, we can help. We can heal you. You'll be fine." And the dude's like, "My people didn't get that when they were jumping off boats."
Yeah,
and that's like when the slavers were bringing the boats into America, they were literally forcing them off the boats when slavery was deemed illegal to not be arrested for slavery.
Yeah,
and so the amount of like passion and the intent and just the emotion that they were packing behind that film, you look at it. We're going off global here, but if you go off the domestic market in America, I did have this here. Where is it? Black Panther actually made more than Infinity War domestically. Black Panther made $700 million domestically, and Infinity War made $678 million. And that's with the different budget of it's not released the budget yet for Infinity War, but it was approximately $315 to $400 million compared to Black Panther. That's almost double Black Panther's budget, and it's hitting up high. Mind you, Infinity War did make $2 billion globally, but domestically, that's a big hit. And that's a big
percentage-wise difference between
That's a big message compared to if you half any budget like that, they're not gonna make those numbers. And you know, stuff like that just makes you appreciate what people bring to the table when it comes to those sort of stuff. You know.
This podcast has been brought to you by Scrambled Pixels, a lovely Brisbane-based media production company that can help you with any production needs you require. You need cameras, microphones, you need any assistance, professional assistance with production needs, they're there to help you. You can easily look them up on Instagram, Scrambled Pixels, or you can look them up on Google, Scrambled Pixels, and you'll be able to find their website. You'll be able to go in, make an inquiry. Right now, they're actually doing something with Twitch. They're actually trying to make sort of like a TV channel on Twitch, where basically we have allocated spots locally in Brisbane that you can pop your production, podcast, whatever, on at a selected time, and you can run alongside what's known as the Scrambled Pixels Network. Check us out, twitch.tv/Scrambled Pixels Network. Thank you. I liked Venom.
You're allowed to. Why are you looking at me like that? You're allowed to like
I was
Venom.
waiting for you to say, and I did not.
I didn't. I just didn't.
Its budget was $100 million, so comparatively low.
Yeah.
Globally, it actually made $855 million.
Which is crazy. That's eightfold. Just made the money back.
Globally. And that's not too bad.
Yeah.
And I think that it warrants a sequel. I think that the way that film was is that it's not if you go back to 2005 and have this film out, it's an 8 or a 9.
That's
The reason why it's not critically loved now is because we have Infinity War, we have Black Panther, we have these types of films.
Other things to compare it to that have set the new standard for superhero movies. Because watching that, it just felt like a flat early or mid 2000s Sony film.
Yeah.
Just felt flat to me, just didn't land. It felt weird. The casting felt weird to me as well, personally. Just seeing some of the actors, and I was like, that's not what they do. That's not what those actors are good at. They are wasted playing characters in this movie.
Me watching this film, it was very much me thinking this is typical Spider-Man Sony stuff. Because, like, we grew up with the Raimi trilogy. We love the Raimi trilogy.
Fucking love them.
But you go into The Amazing Spider-Man. Right? I didn't mind the first one. I thought it was all right. I still preferred Tobey Maguire. As funny as the faces he pulls. I go back on that. I'm massive nostalgia. Nostalgia hits me hard. Fantastic Four, I'll rewatch that any day of the week. Fantastic Four 2, not so much. But
didn't sit the Fantastic movies, they didn't sit with me too well. I wasn't a big fan of them. But
yeah, because I grew up with Fantastic Four. I watched the first Fantastic Four in cinemas. I loved that film. I just loved it because I love Fantastic Four is one of my favorite Marvel properties as well.
Yeah,
but like the same Raimi trilogy is just. To me, I'm like, that's one of my favorite Spider-Man. Don't get me wrong. I prefer Tom Holland over Tobey Maguire. But going into Amazing Spider-Man, that first one, I was kind of like, all right, let's see how the sequel goes. And the sequel, I was like, Even, like, I tried to rewatch it on Netflix. I was like,
Yeah, they kind of felt, they got the character wrong with it.
The end scene was probably the best thing about it. The
back snap.
Yeah, the last half hour of it.
That made me cry. I'm not gonna lie. Like I felt soppy watching The Amazing Spider-Man, and I was like, what?
When it was happening, I was like in cinema. I was like, they're not gonna do it. And then it happened. I was like, shit, they just did it.
Yeah, I didn't even have that. I didn't have that. Like, is it gonna happen? It happened. And I was like, wait, what? They can do that? They're allowed to? What?
Yeah.
Yeah, it made me cry. I was sitting there with my laptop, and I was like,
But one brilliant Sony property. The Spider-Man Sony property that came out last year is Into the Spider-Verse. To round out 2018.
Fantastic movie to just come in and you have Isle of Dogs and you're like, yeah, that's a brilliant animated movie. And then Into the Spider-Verse just come in and went, hey, F you, we're a much better animated movie than you could ever be.
You can go sit in the outhouse.
We're a much more different artistic style. Like,
you go read Ben's Green Lantern comics out in the outhouse while we're watching beautiful comics come to life.
Honestly, I love that.
The way that was styled, I appreciate it for... Because, like, you just picture a comic book. You watch that and you're like, the comic book.
Even felt like there was frames taken out as if it was like a book flipping.
Yeah.
Like, it just had that feel to it. It just... I don't know. I immersed myself in the world, and I enjoyed that much more than Venom. And I'm going to say this on the record as well. The end credit scene or whatever was that sneak preview shot from the Spider-Verse movie that was at the end of the Venom. That was my favorite part of the Venom movie, being able to see a sneak scene from Into the Spider-Verse like that. I don't know. I knew I wanted to see this movie.
I'm not going to lie. I liked Venom. I did love Into the Spider-Verse more.
Oh, and to me, they're much different.
And it's kind of disappointing when you look at the numbers, though, that it's 90 million budget and it made 280 million. Percentage-wise, it's pretty huge. And
mind you, it hasn't been out as long yet.
It hasn't, no. And so obviously, I probably should have updated these numbers before I got on, like I did with Black Panther and Aquaman. But like comparatively to the percentage of it, like with the other ones, it is up there. And I don't think that's the last of that type of film that we'll see.
No, God,
I think that's the first. And we're going to see much more. DC's animation game has been on point for the last 10, 15 years. And now Marvel has stepped up their game with this. So DC's got to kick back with as much as they can when it comes to animation. But to go on the complete opposite side from last year, one of your biggest gripes, Solo, A Star Wars Story.
Don't get me started.
$275 million budget, globally made $390 million. That's globally. So you got to think, how much did that make domestically? I do have the numbers here though.
I was just double checking the update for Into the Spider-Verse.
Yep.
Worldwide, 302 million.
There you go. So it's made quite a bit more.
Yeah, it's
20 million
basically.
More.
Yeah.
So it's up there. So yeah, domestically, Solo, A Star Wars Story, just over 210 million.
That was just painful.
And its budget's 275. Domestically, if a movie makes that domestically, it's counted as shit. And it's definitely made Disney rethink. And this is the one thing that I've looked at of like with Disney films. I've got a couple on here. A Wrinkle in Time's budget, approximately 150 million. The number hasn't been released yet. Globally, 130 million it made back.
It just didn't seem like that movie. I don't even want to see it because it's probably not my kind of movie, but like it didn't feel like it had the appeal that it wanted to pull you in. It like, come and watch this. It didn't have that feel.
It felt like Tomorrowland. And I was never interested in Tomorrowland.
That movie,
that was another big flop.
And I was like, But yeah, I feel like with The Wrinkle in Time, they were just like, we've got Oprah.
Yeah, it's like, we've got a big name. Big name.
Oprah's acting. Look at this.
Big name, big wig.
Like that, and that I feel like that was their only real pull. Like
Speaking of big wigs, Oprah in A Wrinkle in Time.
That's what I was getting at. That's what I just said.
Yeah, I know. No, it's my point.
You just stole my point.
What are you talking about? I didn't steal shit.
What is this?
Here, have another number. Mortal Engine's budget was $100 million and box office made $73 million.
Yeah, of course it would, because it just looked like a giant live action rip-off of bloody Howl's Moving Castle. No one's going to watch that crap. And then especially the way...
that's based off a book or an anime, isn't it?
Yeah, it's an anime thing.
Yeah.
Howl's Moving Castle is an anime, and I'm pretty sure it's based off a book or something.
Well, I meant Mortal Engines.
Mortal Engine, I don't know. No. I'm pretty sure Jackson, what's his name? Lord of the Rings director.
Peter Jackson.
Peter Jackson. Not Michael Jackson. Peter Jackson. I'm pretty sure he went in. And it was just like, we're building this whole new unique world that no one's ever thought of. And I was just...
I'm sorry to cut you off. I'm sorry to cut you off there, but I'm literally thinking about if the Lord of the Rings trilogy was made by Michael Jackson instead of Peter Jackson.
You take Batman and get Tim Burton to direct that. There you go. There's your Lord of the Rings. Directed by Michael Jackson.
Sauron is not my leader. He's just a dark lord that's got one mighty ring. Is that copyright?
Maybe. I'll look into it. I'll talk to the producers.
And to round out those numbers, I've got Holmes and Watson on here. It had a $42 million budget and it made globally $37 million. We still want to see that.
Yeah, is it still in it?
0%. I haven't seen it at cinemas.
I want to see it.
Which is very sad because I kind of want to see how bad this is. My point on all of this is the reason why all of these are such flops. And it's to go back onto the point that Black Panther, Wonder Woman, and Aquaman clearly sets. And that's that these films are pumped out. These films are made by a board of directors who say, we need a film. I just dropped my phone. Hold on. You guys hold it. Okie dokie. There we go. We're back on live now. They're made by a board of directors that have looked at the numbers and said, this is what makes money, so we have to have this in the film. And the director's obviously kissing ass because he's getting a paycheck or some shit. But there's no freedom. There's no creative freedom. I really would want to see what's the directors' names? The two directors who originally did Solace, a Star Wars story.
Something.
Community directors.
Yeah.
Lord and Miller.
Yeah.
Who ended up doing Into the Spider-Verse.
Which was fucking brilliant. Sorry for swearing again.
I want to see their cut of Solo.
Oh, God,
because
that was my appeal.
Would have been brilliant.
That's what I wanted to go see.
My favorite bit of Solo, and this is going to be controversial, is Alden Ehrenreich, whatever the fuck his name is. Sorry, there you go, my swear word for the night. His Han Solo. And my favorite bit of the film is where he goes to him, he's like, yeah, you try and take us on. We've got an army in the ship. And then the Millennium Falcon flies off.
Yeah.
And he's like,
yeah, that was a funny line. That was brilliant.
And
that felt like something that Lord and Miller...
Yeah, that's definitely something they would have set up.
That did not feel like a Ron Howard joke.
No.
God, no.
And that's not to put Ron Howard down. He's made a couple of decent films. I can't name them off the top of my head, but he's made some decent stuff.
I'm sure he's done them.
He was a guy from Happy Days.
Like, I'm sure he's made some great movies, but I just didn't feel like it fit. And I just feel like Lord and Miller should have just finished it. Should have been done. Like, it should have just been... That would have been a fun movie. That's what I wanted to go in and see. And that's this, like that Solo was like another nail in my coffin of why I don't want to look into anything when I go in to see a movie.
And that's a perfect reason why you should not be killing the creative freedom of people who are making these films. I understand that people get protective of these properties, especially when it comes to Star Wars. Like, God forbid we talk about The Last Jedi on this.
We will, and I want to.
We will.
It was a brilliant movie.
We will talk about it when Star Wars 9 comes out.
Watched it today.
But, Solo was just like this project thrown together of like, what's a character people love? Let's do a film of it. He has to have this, has to have this.
But it had potential. Like it had, but like the issue was that the directing style from those two is that they are a comedy. Like they improv everything, and it worked. And they had some brilliant actors to come in and do that, especially with Donald Glover. Like, he's a comedy genius, like, or an artistic genius. Like, anything he fucking touches, I'm swearing again. Anything he touches just turns to gold. Like watch Atlanta. Oh my god, that's brilliant drama. But what I'm getting at is like the Lord and Miller version would have been great. And that was the issue: is that the way they build their movies is that they just film it and they reshoot, they take different days, they do different takes, and they go over schedule. Like, that's how a comedy works when you're shooting them, because it's whatever feels right with the actor that day or whatever works with the director that day. And that was the issue. That's what the producers of the Solo movie didn't like, and that's why they got cut. And
because of this, we are now getting the Obi-Wan Kenobi film is put on indefinite hiatus.
Good. That was a part of the issue, is that what they did with this Han Solo film was they explained everything. Where's the mystery? That was the whole premise of Han Solo, of like this mysterious badass smuggler that does this full turn, this full 180 in the original trilogy.
But because of this, potentially we might not get our Western Obi-Wan Kenobi film. I would love to see Logan style and Ewan McGregor Obi-Wan Kenobi, because if everyone that shits on the prequels, doesn't matter who you are, you can admit that the best part of them is Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah.
And if they did something similar to what they did with Logan,
like
with
this
Wolverine,
old jagged man on a desert planet. Yeah, I'm sure that would be fun to watch.
You look at like the X-Men series, and you look at how like those movies are so fucking cheesy, so like over the top. I tried to watch X-Men 1 the other day. I just couldn't. And that's nostalgia Ben talking.
You know what happens to a frog when it gets struck by lightning? Same as everything else.
Yeah. Like that's yeah.
Also, I wanted to point out that the Wolverine swinger and the Liberty's crown, exact same shot in Black Panther. That was like, I don't know, that just...
But that's actually my favorite scene in that film.
Yeah, it was for me as a kid. It was. I was like, hell yeah.
Mind you, Wolverine is my favorite X-Men character. So it's, and I'm very biased about that. But it's because of this. Like with Solo, like I would really like them to actually pay attention and to try and like sit down and try and realize what makes Star Wars and what makes it good. You know what I mean? And so one of the things that I'm at least looking forward to, and which you're very much looking forward to, is Episode 9 of Star Wars.
Hot diggity dog. Yes, I am.
You know, it's one film that like it's gonna make millions of dollars. It's gonna make almost billions.
Well, the way the media is, or the way the internet's making out that it's a big kerfuffle. You know how like there's all these purist Star Wars fans that are just really hating on old love Kennedy. Is that her name? Kathleen Kennedy.
Kathleen Kennedy.
Everyone's hating on her and hating. What's the director's name of Last Jedi? John.
I keep forgetting.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm forgetting all these names. I should have written these down. Oh,
Probably.
well.
We'll take notes next time. This is the first episode, but no, I just
I am, to be honest, I am kind of glad that J.J. Abrams is coming back because personally, I preferred The Force Awakens over The Last Jedi, and it's because to me, it might be because it's the beginning of it, and J.J. Abrams,
and J. Jams basically made A New Hope again.
Yeah, but that's the thing is like he's done his mystery box thing.
Yeah.
The reason why I'm excited that he's there is because, and it kind of has to play with Kathleen Kennedy's direction of Solo, is that she's going to be like, none of this mystery box shit. Just give us the solutions.
There's
just
your problem.
Put them out.
No, you've just built the problem there. JJ, oh my God, he's so great at building this mystery box. Yes, he is. But he can't close for shit. Like, he just can't do it. Look at Lost. That thing wrapped up. Everyone's dead. Really? That's pathetic. Drag that thing through the mud for 9 seasons, and everyone's dead. You're like, what?
I know, and
he can't close. That's why I don't feel that this 9th movie is in good hands.
I know about that, and that's one fear that I do have that he gets free reign on that. But I'm hoping that Disney, controlling Disney over this Star Wars franchise, that they will hopefully go to JJ and say, hey, don't make this too confusing. We've already set up questions in episodes 7 and 8. Just try and get them solved by 9. Get it set ready for a brand new trilogy afterwards.
He's not like that. He's great at building the world and directing and making a movie and leaving you wondering and wanting more. He's great at that. But hopefully he does well with the closing, apparent, like the ending of it. But I don't know. I'll enjoy the movie because it's Star Wars and J.J. Abrams does a great job, but I don't know how well he's going to close it.
J-Jams.
Especially when it was J.J. puts all this effort into building Snoke, building Kylo Ren, building, all of that. And like who's Rey's parents, and he does all that, right? In the first one, in Force Awakens. And God, I really wish I could remember his director's name right now, but Last Jedi comes into play, and he just throws all that out the window. He goes, "Oh no, JJ, bugger off! Like I don't get rid of the helmet." Rian Johnson, yeah, Rian Johnson just goes, "You know what? Get rid of the Kylo Ren helmet. Kill Snoke. Oh, her parents, nothing. They're junk traders. They're nothing. You're garbage.
To be fair, nothing. None of that really just like irks with me. Like
no, none of it irks with me. I think it's brilliant.
Yeah, and you prefer Last Jedi to Force Awakens. I'm saying it from a point of someone who prefers Force Awakens over The Last Jedi. I don't care that like Luke was. In fact, I actually kind of liked Luke's arc in it.
I loved it.
How he was put as like this bit of a failure who ended up redeeming himself slightly. Like Yoda ran away to a swamp planet. He gave up trying to fight Darth Sidious.
Yeah, Obi-Wan may have been watching Luke, but he was still hiding on a planet. Like it was just this little, this little hermit man, as he's described.
So don't go telling us that like, oh, Luke wouldn't have done this. Luke is just following the rest of the Jedi.
That's what he's been taught. That's how he plays.
Yeah.
Anyway, I loved it. I loved the Last Jedi.
And you know what else I'm also looking forward to this year? Avengers Endgame. So far, Infinity War is my favorite Avengers film so far, and Endgame looks like
weird title
to be
but yes,
awesome. I actually really like the title. At first, I was hoping for Avengers Reassemble.
Nah, that just seems too weird to me either.
But that's an actual title.
I don't even know what I want as a title.
That's an actual title of a comic, though.
Yeah.
Avengers Reassemble. And how perfect would that be when, like, the first film, Avengers 2012, was Avengers Assemble in the UK? How cool would that be if they bring it full circle, Avengers Reassemble?
Yeah.
However, Avengers Endgame does bring, like, this sort of tie together. Kevin Feige has come out saying Avengers Endgame is the end of this 22-year arc.
Yeah.
Is it 22? No, 21 years.
22, I think, by the end of it. Is it? No, not even 20. What are you talking about?
Oh, wait, no, it's 10.
22 movies.
Wait, it's 10.
It's 11. It'll be 11 years by the end of it.
It's 24 movies. That's what it is.
24 movies, yeah.
Because it's,
22
that's
years.
22 years.
I remember back in...
Man, when I was a kid, I watched Iron Man.
99 when Iron Man came out.
But yeah, Avengers Endgame.
Yeah.
It looks awesome.
I'm happy for it. Let's wrap up your show.
I'm actually also really keen for Detective Pikachu. That looks like it's going to be sick. I think that's going to be awesome.
Controversial opinion, but I'll watch it. I'll be keen to see it, to see what they do with the live action.
And Joker. I think that's going to be a good film. I think it's going to be good.
Oh, yeah, with Joaquin Phoenix, whatever.
Joaquin Phoenix, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Hell yeah.
It looks very taxi driver.
Oh,
like,
yes.
It looks good.
They're just like channeling that. And I'm keen on that for all the promotion material I've seen of it. I love the style of Joker that we've got at the moment. It's different. I'm like, ooh.
And Spider-Man after Avengers, because I'm actually really keen for
Far From Home.
Spider-Man. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Now, what we think might be bad next year. So there's going to be a new Godzilla film.
Never even heard of it.
Yep, they're still doing that. I
actually no. I remember the trailer come out for it, and I follow a movie Facebook page.
Yeah,
and they've taken a shot from it, and you can see in the reflection the camera gear, like the cameraman in the trailer. In the reflection of like a fish tank or something, you can see the camera crew. And I'm like, well, this movie is going to be good. No, I don't know. I'm not excited for the Godzilla thing. Like, I love Bryan Cranston and all that, but that wasn't my appeal. And I feel like he was meant to be the pull.
That was very misleading. Did you ever watch the film?
No. Didn't even pull me in.
I'm not even going to say anything.
Good. Why? He wasn't even in the movie?
So Pet Sematary comes out this year. As well, remake of Pet Sematary.
Never even heard of Pet Sematary.
Did you ever read the Artemis Fowl books?
Nope.
Yeah, so pretty much all those movies.
I don't even know how to read.
Rocket Man is one that I'm kind of on the fence about.
No, but we need to talk about it.
We
need to bring this to light. Put it on record. It needs to.
Bohemian Rhapsody was one of our favorite films of last year.
But for context, Rocket Man is the one about Elton John.
Yeah.
Is the not the biopic of Elton John.
I think should be a theme for another episode. But to hint it to the listeners, basically, Ethan and I have a theory that it's part of the.
It's like 70. It's 70% Ben's theory.
What was the title we gave it again?
It was the Live Aid Cinematic Universe.
The LACU, that's it.
The LACU.
It was the LACU, Live Aid Cinematic Universe.
It's every rock star from the 80s and the 60s and 80s that come together and
in Live Aid. So like, Motown Rats, Queen, Elton John. I'm blanking on several artists now. But you get the gist of it.
They're going to build this world with all the different the rock stars or pop stars of the time, and then it's just going to come together for the Live Aid the movie.
Yeah, it's going to have and it's going to just be a recreation of Live Aid,
and like
with all the other actors.
And I really just want the ending to just be a bunch of little African kids just standing up and just clapping with tears in their eyes. Just thank you, Western world, for saving us. You're so amazing. Oh my god! Like, no, that's. I just like from the corny perspective, that's not coming from a racist place. That's coming from like a corny, like, oh wow,
you're the little black kid savior.
Yeah, the little black kids getting saved by all these rock stars. Like, whoa, you stop malaria.
So to summarize this, do you think that 2019 is going to be a good year when it comes to media? When it comes to I was going to include games in this, but so far we've just been talking about movies. So. we'll keep it with movies. Do you think movie-wise this year is going to be epic?
Compared
to last year?
Only mainly on the blockbuster side of things. I need to really it's too early to tell, and I haven't really done much investigation. But so far, blockbuster-wise, especially to keep tickling that little bone that we all have in us, that is just, it thrives on Avengers movies and it thrives on Star Wars movies. Yes, I feel like it's going to be a great year for them. That little bone is going to be satisfied, and we're going to love it. Everything else, I'm not too sure.
So
too soon to tell for me.
Just to run through, this list is entirely Disney movies. I also just realized. Just to run through some of the biggest movies that are coming out this year: Avengers Endgame, Star Wars Episode 9, Toy Story 4. Isn't it a fourth Toy Story?
Oh yeah, that's coming out too. Yeah, that's going to be good.
Frozen 2, which you just know that's going to make bank.
Frozen 2, really? Is it necessary?
Probably. I don't know. There's two of them. Lion King. Live action. I'm doing the finger thing for
quotation fingers there. Yeah.
Which I'm actually pretty keen to see though. So, in summary, I don't think 2019 is going to be better than 2018. I think 2018 was a very epic year. When it comes to stuff like Infinity War, Into the Spider-Verse, we've had some surprises. Solo was a drop in it. It was just plummets, but
I hope they learned their lesson.
Yeah, I just really hope so, because I'm actually really keen for episode 9. I want to see the Rey and or Reylo's story, and that's right, I ship them. I want to see their story just tied up in a neat little bow.
I really hope they have sex and it turns out they're siblings.
That's the real Star Wars way, isn't it?
Incest.
Insert clip of Han Solo realizing that
I'll see what
Princess
I can do.
Leia kissed
I'll see what the editor can do.
But yeah, I think it's going to be, so far it's on par.
Yeah.
2018 maybe a little bit further.
I think it's just like a step. It's not like this big incline. It's just going to be this step up. Okay.
And I think it's got to be, we've got to wait and see the movies themselves, I think. It's very close to the chest, and if there's anything that the flops have told us, and even Venom, from how much it made, is that you can't say definitively that a movie's going to make this much or a movie's not going to make this much. So anyway, after all of that, thank you for listening to our Media in Demand first episode.
Woo! First episode.
So thanks for listening and watching the first episode of Media in Demand. Hopefully this can continue on. I'd like to thank Ethan for joining me and helping me set up late tonight.
Oh, no, not that. Just my guest, as a guest. I don't want to be thanked yet for my production skills. Just thanks for being a guest.
You're a co-host on here.
Yeah,
you're part of the KMS team.
Cheers. That's a nice title.
And thank you. Good night. Thank you for watching the first episode of Media in Demand. If you'd like to subscribe, click here. If you'd like to check out any of the other Case Mail Service videos, click here. And I don't know, Ethan will put something else somewhere. Just have a guess where.